Hi everyone, it's Chrissie and welcome back to another apartment renovation and welcome back to the fourth apartment in our Building a Legacy apartment series. So in case you haven't watched any of my previous apartments for this series, I will leave a link on the screen and in the description to the playlist that I set up where I'm putting all of these apartments so that they're all, nicely in one place together, and you guys can go and check out any of the apartments, that you haven't seen or anything like that. But in case you don't know what this series is about, basically this series is where I'm building 6 different apartments, 4 of them in San Myshuno and 2 of them in Evergreen Harbor. We're actually building in Evergreen Harbor for this video, as well as the previous apartment that went up earlier in the week. But basically I'm building 6 different apartments, all with different budgets and all for different families. Not different families, but I guess different sized families would be the best way of describing that. So different family dynamics. So for the first apartment, I built that apartment as a starter apartment for a single sim. The second apartment was for a couple where they just moved into their first apartment together. The third apartment, which is the one that went up earlier in the week, that was actually for a young family. So like the couple, maybe they just got married and they have a little toddler together, their first kid. And then this apartment is the 4th apartment in the series. So this is for a growing family. So the family is still growing. They maybe just had a toddler, and they didn't just have a toddler, obviously. But maybe in their old apartment, they had another baby and they decided, we need a little bit of a bigger space. Our first child is, aging up into a child, and we need a little bit more space now that we have another kid to look after and another kid to have space for. So in this apartment, it's set up for a couple as well as a child and a toddler. And I will have a picture of all of the family members up on the screen. I'm trying to do that for all of these apartments so that you guys can see, what the family I pictured in my head. Yeah, so you can see the family that I pictured in my head when I was building this. And so that I can kind of give you guys an idea of what the Sims looked like that I pictured, and so that you have a little bit of a visual when I'm talking about the Sims, because I did build these apartments for this specific family, for what they like and all of that stuff. That's kind of just something that I wanted to do with this series. I wanted to not make it super personalized. There's not too many career items or anything like that, so you could have any family living here, honestly. But I did try and keep to a little bit of a style when it comes to these apartments, so they all have somewhat similar items in it, and they're all in somewhat similar styles, which is this more more contemporary kind of IKEA looking. I don't know, I used a bunch of the Dream Home Decorator items in all of these apartments, so everything kind of has this little bit of a more modern IKEA type vibe to it. Unintentionally, I just really liked the Dream Home Decorator items, and whenever I build with those items, I always end up kind of matching the rest of my build to those specific items for some reason. But yeah, so the family that we're building for is obviously Katara, which is the sim that we started off with. We have Lucas, her husband, we have their oldest daughter Storm, and their new little toddler Arabella. And yeah, the 2 kids actually share a room, so this is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. So there's a master bedroom, a kids room, a bathroom, and then I also have this cool little laundry space. And you'll see that the laundry space it's actually its own room, but I didn't use an archway or anything like that to get into the laundry room. I actually ended up using spandrels, and then I sized up with the tool mod. I sized up some of the base game blinds that we have, and they actually look like those those folding wood or bamboo doors that you have a lot when you have laundry closets. So if the laundry machines are just in a closet space and you have those folding doors that open it so that you can get to it, that's kind of what it reminded me of, and I really liked that. So yeah, I decided to experiment with that a little bit in this apartment, and I'm trying to include laundry in all of these apartments just for a little bit of a realism factor, if I'm being honest. I like playing with laundry when I play my own game, so yeah, I decided to put laundry in all of these apartments. So far, every apartment has had laundry in it. And then I'm also actually bringing over a couple of items from the previous apartment. I think I mentioned this in every one of these apartment builds, but I do try and bring over a couple of items from the previous apartments just to make it look like, you know, a little bit of history, to add a little bit of history to the builds and to make it look like these families actually have history where they live, and maybe some of the items have a history or a sentimental value to them or something like that. So a couple of the art pieces are things that you will have seen in some of the previous apartments. You'll also see that I ended up reusing the same bed that I used in the previous apartment in the parents' bedroom. Maybe they just did that because, you know, they recently had a new kid and they moved into a new place. So maybe they decided to spend money on actually buying a new like living room set and a new, you know, beds and stuff for the kids rather than buying a new bed for themselves, for example. So yeah, that's just a little bit of like, I don't know, I try when I build these apartments, especially with these ones, I always try and think a little bit realistically. I mean, obviously not super realistically because it's The Sims and you can only do so much in terms of realism. But yeah, with these apartments, I built a little bit more realistically than I normally would. So that's why I'm including the laundry and why I'm actually reusing a couple of items from the previous apartments and trying to do stuff like that. So in the parents' bedroom, you'll actually see that I ended up putting the matching chair. So I used the 3-seater sofa from the industrial loft kit. I actually used that in the living room, and it actually has a matching chair that you can put with it. So instead of using the chair in the living room, I actually put the chair in the bedroom and then put a couple of like kids' chairs in the living room. So, you know, they have the little hamster chair that they actually had in their previous apartment as well. They have a couple of pillows. So, you know, in my head, I thought, you know, they already had all of this kid stuff in the living room and they didn't have space for the matching chair that they got when they bought their new couch. So they just put the chair in their bedroom and they have a chair in their bedroom now, if that makes sense. They also have a little desk space in the living room. So in my head, this is like the family desk. So maybe the kid would be there, you know, maybe doing some like research or school projects or, you know, whatever. Obviously, it doesn't work like that in The Sims, but, you know, in real life, that's what you would, you know, use that space for. And then they actually have a desk in their bedroom as well, in the master bedroom, because I figured that the mom, Katara, would be in the like tech guru career or some sort of tech, you know, based career, because in my head she studied computer sciences at university. So, you know, she's in some sort of tech field, so she actually has a desk in her room. So, you know, she can work from home, do all of her stuff and be like in a little bit more of a quiet space away from the kids. Or maybe she could also be a writer. That could be really cool. She could have a desk in her bedroom because she actually writes and she needs some peace and quiet to do that, if that's something that you wanted to do. But yeah, so the main living space is basically done at this point. The like living room, it's all one big open space. There's no dedicated dining room. I just have a big circular table in the I almost said in the living room, in the kitchen. And then we have just the 2 bedrooms and the bathroom. Bathroom is super simple. I didn't really do much with the bathroom. It's very plain and kind of boring. And yeah, I do apologize if you just heard my alarm go off. I forgot I had an alarm set on my phone. And my like smart watch also starts beeping or like vibrating whenever that goes off. So yeah, I forgot to mute those. But yeah, sorry if you heard that. But yeah, so we've moved on to the kids' room, and like I said, they do have to share a room. The child and the toddler do have to share a room. It's not a super big room, so that's why I did put a couple of their toys and stuff in the living rooms. I don't know, what did I put in the living room again? I ended up putting like toddler blocks and a couple of like loose toys, and then the dollhouse is also in the living room. And then in their bedroom, they just have a couple of like stuffed animals. They actually have a tablet or like a slablet, wabbit tablet thing for the toddler, a couple of more toys, some, I don't know, what are those, like, I guess those doctor playset things that came with Parenthood that actually allow your child Sims to work on their, like, empathy or something like that. And then they also have an art table, because I figured the little girl, Storm, would be really into arts and crafts, so she's super creative. So when I actually get to decorating more of their bedroom, I actually end up putting a ton of those like handmade crafts all over the place, so like hanging on the walls, and a bunch of like cards and stuff that she, in my head, that she made. I just got them from Debug. But yeah, I put a lot of those like handmade things in my head. You know, she made those for her sister or herself, or maybe the toddler also made a couple of them. Obviously, the Sims, you can't really do that. In my head, though, you can totally do that. So maybe she and her sister did some arts and crafts together. So yeah, they have a bunch of like paper kind of homemade, like handmade decorations around the place. And then I also added a keyboard in the living room. I actually wasn't going to do that, but then when I went through and I actually like worked on their skills and stuff and set all of those things up, I actually thought, you know what, she's really creative, so maybe she's into music as well. So I actually put the keyboard in the living room so that she could practice the piano a little bit. And yeah, I should probably also mention that if you guys want to download these apartments or these Sims, I will have them all up on the gallery. All of the apartments will already be up on the gallery, apart from, you know, the last two ones that I haven't done yet, but the first four, including this one, will be up on the gallery. I'll have a download link to the gallery website down below, as well as my gallery ID and the hashtag and stuff that you can search to find them. I'll also have the tray files up on the community tab for my channel members as well. And then if you want to download the family, they should also be up on the gallery. I don't think I've uploaded any of them yet, but I'll probably end up uploading like 6 different like families. So 6 different versions of this family that I'm using for these apartments. I'll also upload them to the gallery at some point, in case you want to play with these exact Sims in these apartments. If you don't, you know, want to create your own families to go in these apartments, or if you like these Sims and their stories or whatever, then they will also be up on the gallery. And they're completely custom content free, the Sims and the apartments, obviously. So yeah, you should be able to download them pretty easily if you have the packs that I used, because I didn't end up pack restricting myself at all with any of these apartments. So yeah, just be aware of that. I didn't pack restrict myself at all. I just used whatever I wanted to use, and I just went for a very specific look, and I had a specific idea in mind. So yeah, I just used whatever I thought would work for that, basically. But a little bit more information about this apartment. I don't think I mentioned this in the previous apartment build, but these 2 apartments, so this one and the young family apartment that went up earlier in the week, both of these apartments are actually in Evergreen Harbor, whereas the first 2 apartments that I did were in San Myshuno, and the next 2 apartments will also be in San Myshuno. But this apartment is actually in the Stonestreet apartments block number 4, and I'll have all of this information down in the description as well. But I also only gave myself a 50,000 simoleon budget, so this apartment actually ended up being 48,300 and something odd simoleons, so just underneath the 50k budget. But it's still a budget apartment, and it's not like a super big budget either. It's fairly attainable. In my like experience of gameplay, you can fairly easily make this, especially if you have 2 Sims that both work, and if one of the Sims are like college educated, then they start off their careers fairly high, so they end up making quite a bit of money. So you should be able to make 50k pretty easily. But I hope you guys enjoyed this build. If you did, give the video a like, and if you're new to the channel and you'd like to see some more Sims content, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and remember to turn on the notification bell as well to be notified of whenever I upload a new video. I hope you're all having a great day and a great start to your month, and I'll see you all in my very next video. Bye everyone!
It's been 4 weeks since you called, and I've been waiting here for you all along. I've been waiting here for you all along. wonder if you found what you're looking for. I hope it's not too late. I want you back here with me. We never should have said it's better this way. I'd rather be with you than someone I don't know. Now it's like we're living in two separate worlds. Come on back to me, say that you won't go. I can't cope without you and I wanna hold you close. Say that you won't go. Say that you won't go. It's been so cold without you here. We barely said goodbye.